Today we're going to take a quick look at AMD, one of my favorite companies in one of my favorite markets. Unfortunately, with bad news, an analyst today downgraded their price target from 148 all the way down to 115. So today I want to take a quick look at why the downgrade happened and see if there's any merit to that analyst. If this is your first time here, make sure to hit the thumbs up, make sure to hit the subscribe button, check out the pinned comment for free Discord, free newsletter, and a lot of great investing links. So let's get started. Alright, so the market just recently opened and we can see AMD right now is down about 3.5%. And I just want to see kind of short-term movement. In the past 5 days is down about 4%, and in the past month is down about 6.76%. Overall, we can just see this has, and the whole year is down about 23.46. So overall, we can see this is a highly volatile market still, even with some of the big players like AMD. So like I mentioned, Barclays today downgraded AMD to equal weight from overweight. They also downgraded the price target, so it was a double downgrade. The price target to 115 from 148. So again, that does cause some form of negativity towards stock price. I do believe that is the main reason the stock is down right now. So we can see here, Barclays downgrades AMD, says PC and gaming markets due for a correction. And if we kind of go take a quick look at some of the highlights, the analyst that reported this downgrade was Blaine Curtis, and he believes the growth stories needs a pause with cyclical risk looming in 2023. So this is something that's very normal. I want to say in the semiconductor industry, this is a very kind of cyclical market. Many investors, and it seems like Blaine believes that we are kind of in the peak of that kind of cyclicality and that eventually we should start trending down. For AMD, he believes it's probably more in the gaming and in the PC and in the graphics market. This is a big market for AMD. Unfortunately, he kind of also has a point that even though those markets might go down, AMD remains in position to gain market share in both client and server markets. But cyclical risk across several end markets will come in 2023. So it seems like he believes the data center market will continue to grow, but he doesn't have too much expectations for the gaming, for the PC, and for the graphics market. And let me just say, some of this might make sense, but I think it might be an overreaction to some extent. I don't believe it's going to be as strong as many intended, and I'm going to explain why. But luckily, yesterday we did have Micron Technologies report earnings, and they did share a lot of great insight about these markets. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and keep listening for this great offer we have for the community. The Motley Fool is a company that provides investing insight and stock recommendations for investors of all skill sets and risk levels. You all know how much I love researching new stocks and trying to find the next best investments. So I'm proud to partner with the Motley Fool to bring you a discount for one of my favorite services the Fool offers, the Motley Fool Stock Advisor. Go to fool.com/Jose to sign up and get access to a ton of expert stock picks. Every month you'll get 2 new picks that are aimed at growing your wealth and to help you realize your financial goals. Stock Advisor has been a market-beating service. So what are you waiting for? Thanks again for the Motley Fool. Now on to today's points. So first we can see Micron talked about the data center, and they mentioned that revenue grew more than 60% year over year. So we can see there still is a huge demand for data center revenue and products and solutions, and that bodes well for AMD. So I don't believe AMD's data center market is going to take a huge hit. But then we see a little bit different. They kind of talk about the PC market. They say we saw recovery in our client revenue driven by strength in enterprise PC, which more than offset softer consumer and Chromebook demand. So here we're kind of seeing a bit of a slowdown in PC is what they're saying. They're seeing a slowdown in your regular consumer buying electronics, buying laptops and Chromebooks, but they are seeing an offset by enterprises buying more computers at the moment. I believe this is happening because of this hybrid style where back then a lot of people were buying laptops because they were working from home. Now with kind of this hybrid mentality, enterprises are kind of improving their regular workstations, and it's already been like 2 years since COVID kind of started. So most of these technologies need to upgrade. Most companies kind of waited it out because they were like, hey, no point in upgrading our computers right now if most people are working from home. Unfortunately, I don't think this is something that's going to last a long time. Maybe just another year or so. So unfortunately, if that slows down and the PC consumer still continues to show a slowdown, AMD could definitely be affected by this. And just a quick refresh of AMD's most recent earnings. They have two revenue segments. And in the total revenue for this quarter, most recent quarter, they represented $4.8 billion, right? And that came from the first market, which is computing and graphics segment, and that was 2.6. This was a little bit over half. It was like about 55-60% of total revenue came from computing and graphics segments. Here you have your desktop products, your graphics cards, and your Ryzen products. So if there is a slowdown, this is one that would definitely take a hit. And it is, like I mentioned, over 50% of AMD's total revenue. So there might be some kind of truth to this analyst report. But then there is the enterprise, embedded, and semi-custom segment. And this is where the data center revenue comes from. Right now, it's $2.2 billion, a little bit less than 50%. What I do believe is going to happen is eventually, maybe not this quarter, maybe the following quarter after that, this segment, which represents the data center revenue, is going to overtake and become more than 50% of total revenue. And I do believe this is where the market will continue to grow. Now, AMD also has a secret weapon that many analysts don't seem to be talking about, and that is AMD has recently acquired Xilinx, and with Xilinx comes new products and new solutions, and new markets at that. The two new markets that are actually entering for AMD are the embedded market, and within the embedded market, you see a lot of things like automotive and robotic automation, right? Not only that, it also improved the solutions that AMD has for data center. And this is why I believe the segment of enterprise, embedded, and semi-custom segment, which includes data center, will be over 50% within the next quarter or two. And if we kind of take a quick look back at Micron Technologies, they share a lot of great insight there as well. First, if we take a quick look at the auto industry, in fiscal quarter 2, our auto revenue set a new record driven by robust demand for memory and storage. Auto unit productions remain below demand constraints. So here they're kind of saying, hey, our auto industry is growing at crazy levels. Unfortunately, right now, the only constraint within the automobile industry is car manufacturers can't produce to their full capacity because of the overall chip shortage. So what's going to happen? Eventually, car production is going to go back to normal if chip shortage kind of slows down. But these cars are going to demand even more semiconductors. So it's going to kind of create another kind of shortage within that market. And that's going to continue to grow. And like I mentioned, AMD just also entered that market. So it would be good for AMD. Next, we can see in industrial IoT, Internet of Things, we saw approximately 60% year-over-year revenue growth, fueled by continued ramp in applications such as factory automations and security system. Again, with this recent Xilinx acquisition, AMD has entered that market of Internet of Things, also entering in form of it, kind of the robotic automation. So I believe even though there might be a slowdown in the PC and graphics market at the moment, AMD now has numerous other markets where they might be seeing a nice uptick too. The real question is, are these upticks in these other markets enough to offset the downtick of the PC market slowdown? I do agree with the analysts, PC market will slow down. The real question is how much, and will it be enough to really drag an AMD stock price down? At the moment, I have no intentions of selling. I don't believe I'll ever have any intentions of selling. AMD is one I'm expecting to hold for the long term of things. So take care. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and see you next time.